Greetings, precious, divine spirit soul that you are. You've always been that. You never lose who you are. You can never do that. You can forget, so you need to remember. And when we do, wow, that's what it's about. I want to acknowledge you, and this is deep work. This is not shallow, manifest a parking place. And yet a lot of it is based on a lot of my work in metaphysics, and then also with the Essenes and Yeshua, and to me the healer and great teacher, Yeshua. And then the Vedic teachings of Bhakti, that is, I found love, which is actually who we are, and the knowledge and the philosophy and the teaching is so fabulous, and it's what it really is with teachings and such. They're not that you have to become a member, or they say I buy it all, I'm taking it all, that's the way it is. No, you're not having to prove it or disprove. No, it's knowledge that you apply, and when you apply through your own experience and observation, and also the results and such, you know whether you are in harmony with your true divine self, or you're in disharmony with your true divine self, and then therefore nature and all others in that way. My topic is strengthen your self-confidence. Strengthen your self-confidence, and that to confide, in a sense, is within the self-confidence, and what it is there's the false self. This is the persona that we make up, that we change ourselves to fit the situation, or change ourselves to be the way other people want us to be, so they'll love us, so we're good enough, so they don't throw us in the street, or so we avoid pain, or so we make money, whatever these things are, because we're divine beings. We can do all these kinds of things, and most people have no clue or at all who they are. And this is your work. This is your greatest investment. This is important now, right now, and such. This is my work. So contact me and email me, and and I do counseling, and I do counseling on love offerings over the phone, only because I want everybody to be able to get the assistance if they're really interested in the knowledge. So I'm there, and then I have workshops and retreats here at Shasta, and doing some all days and half days at Shasta. So let me know if you want, because I'm not really big on the mailing list and all these kind of things, but if you email me and such, then I will let you know, and that sort of thing. So anyway, strengthen your self-confidence. And the false self is always reactionary and weak. That's that persona. That who has no self-confidence right there, is because you think the self is the false ID, this character that I go by, Terry Cole-Whittaker. I took birth as Terry Nan Rich, because someone told me the other day, would you like to be rich again? I said, well, I've always been rich. I was born rich. That was the name I had. And so that means government in German, or leader or something like that. Oh, so anyway, that self, then we have these experiences, we have our stories, we have our past lives, we have all of this kind of thing. And where all that's stored is in a thing called the memory. Well, so if I didn't have a memory, I wouldn't know what to do and all that. This is the mind telling you all these things, and then the books and the science and all of this stuff written, and the religion. All of this there's truth. That's what you have to find, truth. You have to know how to discern it, because you could find it, because stuff has to have some truth. But you also know what's lie and what's false and doesn't work. And that's why when you apply these teachings, then you know whether it works or not for you to attain whatever it is that you are focused on and want to attain. And the greatest thing you could attain would be the full remembrance and activation and realization of who you are. This is without the layers of ignorance, without beyond a body that so-called is born and then gets old and rots and dies and falls away and is eaten by animals or burned or thrown in the water, whatever. Yeah, that's the way it is. Okay, that goes around here. But you don't die. One of the ways that I help myself to learn this, being a minister, I do a lot of funerals and memorial services, and before that, I'd be singing in the church, and then I would sing for the funeral and the whole thing, and then singing, the dead bodies at different times, and knowing nobody was there. There really was nobody home, and yet we place such attachment to something that is temporary instead of our attachment to ourselves, who are permanent. So strength and self-confidence. And what that comes, first of all, is to stop reacting to stuff. Be the witness and the observer, and notice when you do react. What gets your goat? What makes you feel bad? What's going on? And take a look. Where's that coming from? And you're going to find there's thoughts. And those thoughts are coming from, they've been programmed in there, movies you've seen, sad songs, you took the fine time to leave me loose, But anyway, or born to lose, I live my life in vain, not. But it's these things, people sing it, and they honor their suffering and their pain and their struggle. I'm so cool, man. Blah, blah, blah. Get it? If you don't get, you're gonna die, buddy. And that's the way it is. And when you look at this, you're not. But that loss of that body is going to happen. And as you, first of all, notice what's triggering you, you want to transcend this. You don't need the birth-death game anymore. You don't need the suffering, pain, and sorrow, and war, and blah, blah. No government is going to do that to you. Any of the promises that is going to enslave you. You do this for yourself. Legislation doesn't do that for you. You see, this is because they're solving problems with the mind, and the mind's problems create more problems that create solutions with more problems. Then you have the mess, and it gets worse and worse and worse, and it always has an end because it's not who we are. Okay, so you want to build your self-confidence, and that means to know that as you watch those thoughts and they're telling you about your mate or your friend. And one of my dear friends up here, we both were feeling really funny about something, she and I, and what happened was that she thought I didn't like her, and I did, but I wasn't really telling her that because she phones me, and yet I never return the phone call. Well, I return it all the time, but I never realized that because we'd eventually talk and everything. And so when I mentioned it to her, she actually came to me and said, well, what's going on? I thought, well, I don't know what's going on. Maybe I stopped drinking the coffee, kind of like, but I don't know. I don't know what's going on. And she said, and then it was, I was dialing the wrong number. And I'm leaving messages, detailed messages all the time. This is for months. And she's thinking, how rude. I mean, but see, it's still the mind. Because the mind makes up stories. And it's going to make you the problem of you're going to be a victim, you're going to be the meanie, you know that, and you got to be the savior because you're going to save others and you're going to save yourself, and I'm going to save myself for. What are you waiting for? You see, there's all of this kind of stuff. So this false self that was reactionary and it's weak. It has no power. The only power that mind virus can have, that is a parasite and a vampire. And anybody who lives from that mind becomes basically a parasite and a vampire. They suck their life force out of other people having less so they can have more. And because this is a less-more game. And it keeps it running because it keeps the conflict, keeps the envy going, keeps the greed going, keeps the sorrow going, self-pity, so blah, 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 blah. So then people say, well, get attached to it, sentimentality, called love, which isn't love at all, because absolute love has no sentimentality or nostalgia, because those are memories keeping you stuck in repetitive behavior lifetime after lifetime after similar location, different clothes, different vehicles. Now we're going to have flying cars. We don't need no stinking flying cars. This is absolutely, you can travel anywhere that you desire in a moment. You can travel faster than the speed of light. Come on, please. Strengthen your self-confidence. And the key, too, is to know you're not the doer. And the confidence is in myself, not in my mind, not in my beliefs, not in my learned knowledge of an education, not what I'm told by so-called authorities and experts who get their money from dumbing you down to not know who you are, because then you could be scared. You could be afraid. You'll do whatever is done. And when you really get that, you have no fear of letting go of the body. And then you start to notice where you're triggered. What are the words that get you? What are the statements that get you? Which ones more or less? And you'll start to notice what you're doing to drain your life force and cause you to feel like a failure or not good enough or you can't do it. See, I myself can do nothing because I'm not the doer. Consciousness, when you have that, through that, automatically, because of who you are and what you are, it manifests. And that's it. All right, my darling, so I want you to know if I'm there to serve. I do my phone counseling by love offering, so to make sure that you get support. If you need that, you email me. It's on the website. You know where to get that. It's on, there below the video. Also, I have mentoring programs and spiritual healing, and then workshops here at Mount Shasta for all day, half a day, then some are longer than that. So get in touch. Let's get to the heart of the matter, who is you, and free ourselves, all of us, from all of this levels of ignorance, as we know the truth that always is, and the truth is you.